very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us. You are watching the latest edition of 6 Stories at 6 with me, Ayana Mitra. Over the next 30 minutes, I'll take you through the details of those 6 stories which have dominated the headlines today. So here we go. Up first, the Supreme Court of India has made a strong observation on a red carpet welcome for infiltrators. Those details on the show. Next, the Sanchar Sathi row. Why is an app that essentially takes care of cyber fraud irking the opposition and inviting backlash from the indie bloc? We'll tell you all about that. Third, what is the conclusion of the second breakfast meeting between DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah? Republic Kannada will break for you the details. Fourth, after weeks of protests, Imran Khan's family gets access. The latest visuals, the latest developments for you on the show from outside Adiala jail. Next, the key highlights of the Navy Chief's briefing from today. And finally, a deep look at Operation Sagar Bandhu as India turns friend in need for Sri Lanka. And with that, let's get started. And well, viewers, the winter session of Parliament might be heating up. But what unfolded inside the Supreme Court of this country has made headlines. A bench led by Chief Justice of India, Justice Surya Kant, made a strong observation questioning the government over the legal standing of Rohingyas living in the country, asking whether intruders should be given a red carpet welcome while millions of Indians struggle with poverty. Moments later, it was a Trinamool Congress MP, Kalyan Banerjee, who stoked controversy over an insulting remark against the Chief Justice of India. Here's what happened.
The Supreme Court today delivered a stern rebuke to petitioners seeking relief for Rohingyas, questioning the legal status of the community and asking whether intruders should be given a red carpet welcome. Chief Justice Surya Kant led the bench, emphasizing that the term refugee is a well-defined legal term and asked where the government's formal declaration is. The CJI made a strong observation, stating they first enter India illegally, then claim food and shelter, and later say, we have entered, laws must apply. The court, while hearing the case, questioned the petitioners, asking them whether they want to stretch the laws.
There were several things that were said by the council to which the government, she tried to reply in the court, but the Supreme Court was very clear and not mincing words. They said, we're not going to give the red carpet to them. If they do not have legal status, the Chief Justice said, to stay in India and they're an intruder, we have a very sensitive border in North India. If they come in, do we give them a red carpet, welcoming them, saying we will give them all the facilities? He then asked, what is the problem in sending them back? And then he observed, and I think these are marvelous words, setting the tone correct for the Rohingyas, and in this case, where he says, first you enter, you cross the border illegally, you dug a tunnel or crossed the fence and entered India illegally. Then you say, now I've entered, your laws must apply to me. I'm entitled to food, I'm entitled to shelter, my children are entitled to education. Do we want to stretch the law like this?
And soon after the top court's observations, TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee made a controversial statement. The TMC leader insulted the Chief Justice of India.
उनका टिप्पणी का जवाब देना हमारा शोभा नहीं मिलता है, चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया है। लेकिन हम एक बात बोलूं, जो सब जज को कोई लूज कमेंट करना नहीं चाहिए। पहले जो था हमारा इंडियन जुडिशियरी में, जज लोग कम बात करते थे और जजमेंट के जो बोलना है वो बोलते थे। अभी क्या हो गया, पूरा टेंडेंसी बदल गया। आजकल जज लोग ज्यादा बात करते हैं टीआरपी बढ़ाने के लिए, जजमेंट नहीं देते हैं। That is the whole difficulty.
The hearing was adjourned to December 16th. The debate over immigration, judicial conduct, and political rhetoric continues to simmer.
All right, viewers, it's day 2 of the winter session of Parliament, and a massive political row has now erupted over the centre's direction to mobile phone manufacturers to install the Sanchar Sathi mobile app in all handsets manufactured or imported in India. While the government has said that the move aims to protect citizens from cyber fraud and can help recover lost phones, the Congress party and other opposition parties across the board have alleged that this is a step towards state surveillance and demanded the immediate rollback of this direction. What is this app about, and what is this entire controversy that is unfolding in Vijay Chowk in Parliament? Take a look.
In a sweeping directive, the Department of Telecommunications has asked every smartphone maker in India to pre-install the Sanchar Sathi app. An app meant to verify the genuineness of devices. An app that cannot be removed and must remain visible, functional from the very first setup screen. Manufacturers have been given 90 days to comply and must file a full compliance report within 120 days. The government says it is essential to fight cybercrime, stop fraud calls, block suspicious apps, and help track lost or stolen phones.
ऑपोजिशन ये जो इशू ढूंढ करके लाने का आवश्यकता नहीं है। विंटर सेशन पार्लियामेंट में बिजनेस तय किया गया है, बहुत सारा मुद्दे हैं और कई मुद्दे जो ऑपोजिशन ने भी उठाया है उस पर हम बातचीत करके आगे क्या करना है इसमें विचार करेंगे। नए नए मुद्दे ढूंढ करके पार्लियामेंट को डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए बहाना बनाने का कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। हर मुद्दे अपने जगह में इम्पोर्टेंट है, लेकिन मुद्दे को आप हथियार बना करके पार्लियामेंट को स्टॉल करेंगे, ये तो ठीक नहीं है।
But the opposition smells a surveillance storm. Congress calls the directive unconstitutional, alleging it violates the right to privacy.
Sanchar Sathi, yesterday on night itself, I have reacted. It's an attack on privacy of the common people. Actually, basically, this is an attack on constitutionality.
Attacking the government, Priyanka Gandhi called the Sanchar Sathi a snooping app.
It is a snooping app. I mean, clearly, it's ridiculous. Now, where else do they want to, I mean, citizens have their right to privacy. Even all of you must be having a right to privacy to send your own messages to family, friends, without the government looking at everything. It's not just one thing. It's not just snooping on the telephones. It's overall. They are turning this country into a dictatorship.
Voicing a similar privacy concern, Congress MP Imran Masood asks, are we becoming North Korea?
आप लोगों के घरों में झांकेंगे अब जाकर के?
आपका स्वदेशी तकनीक पे भरोसा नहीं है?
अरे किस तकनीक का भरोसा करें? आप मेरे कमरे में बैठ कर
साथी है तो स्वदेश का होगा ना?
मैं कहता हूँ आप मेरे कमरे में बैठ करके झांकोगे क्या? विदेशी हो या देशी हो, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है भैया?
Meanwhile, other opposition leaders have also raised similar issues.
सरकार एक संचार साथी ऐप लेकर आई है, सर क्या कहेंगे उसको लेकर?
उसमें हमको तो लग रहा है कि आप ही लोगों के ऊपर नकेल कसने का एक प्रबंध है। ये आज तो आप इस्तेमाल हो रहे हो, विज्ञापन पा रहे हो, बाजा बजा रहे हो, कल थोड़ा इधर उधर भी अगर आप सोचोगे तो आपको कैसे कंट्रोल किया जाएगा, उसका प्रबंध कर रही है सरकार।
But the government hits back, calling the outrage misinformation.
प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि विपक्ष कुर्सी के नीचे, कुर्सी के पीछे, कुर्सी के लिए मुद्दे ढूंढ रहा है। अब सभी भ्रमों को दूर करना सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है और सारे मुद्दे मैंने आपके समक्ष रख दिए कि आज तक पिछले 2 वर्षों में संचार साथी पोर्टल और संचार साथी ऐप के आधार पर कितनी सुविधा जनता को मिली है, कितना पैसा जनता का बचा है, और ये भी आंकड़े आपके सामने रख दूं। एक साल में 2024 में अकेले हमारे देश के अंदर 22,800 करोड़ रुपए के फ्रॉड हुए हैं।
With both sides refusing to back down, the Sanchar Sathi directive has triggered a nationwide political showdown.
Right, viewers, moving on, the Karnataka power tussle has been a hot topic for many days now. And amid this drama between Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, D.K. Shivakumar today, this morning in fact, he hosted a breakfast meeting with the Chief Minister. The two Congress leaders, squabbling over the Chief Minister's post since the 2023 election, still claim that all is well. But Republic Kannada has the inside details of what is expected and what is likely likely to unfold over the next few weeks. Take a look.
It was on December 30th when the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar held breakfast meet. On the plate was the chair and the position of the Karnataka Chief Minister. 2 days later, that is today, a second breakfast meet was held. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy CM D.K. Shivkumar interacted today at the latter's residence. But this meet was not just a normal meet. There was a lot more to it. The two Congress leaders, squabbling over the CM's post since the 2023 election, sat down to idli, a country-style chicken curry, and coffee while discussing their tug-of-war. Breakfast at D.K. Shivkumar's home today was the second time in 3 days the two have broken bread together as the Congress tries to broker peace to focus on the 2028 election. D.K. Shivkumar posted on X about the aim of the breakfast meet.
Power tussle is between CM Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar for the chair of the Chief Minister, which was agreed upon when the government was formed 2.5 years ago, that the first term will be taken over by CM Siddaramaiah and the second term will be taken over by DCM D.K. Shivkumar as the Chief Minister of the state. However, in the month of November, when the possible change of the power had to happen, CM Siddaramaiah never wanted to give up on the chair of the Chief Minister is what we have been told, and this is why the leaders from the camp of D.K. Shivkumar were marched to Delhi a couple of times to make sure that they mount the pressure on the High Command to reiterate on the importance of elevating D.K. Shivkumar. So this is the first ever time standing beside D.K. Shivkumar, CM has uttered whenever the High Command says D.K. Shivkumar will be the Chief Minister.
Following the meal, the two were seen addressing a joint press briefing. First, Siddaramaiah said that if the High Command decides, DKS can become the CM. Hours later, he gave a cryptic message. Siddaramaiah said that anything can happen in politics. Both the leaders also addressed a question on being invited to Delhi by the party leadership for resolving their tussle.
Today, D.K. Shivkumar has invited me for breakfast. I agreed to come on Tuesday. Today, both of us had a breakfast. Both of us should listen to the whatever decision taken by the High Command. Whether it is mostly Rahul ji and Sonia ji.
Will the breakfast meet end the tug of war?
And over in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, the country is bracing for a major political showdown as PTI, that is Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf parliamentarians, gathered outside the Islamabad High Court early this morning, demanding the release of former Prime Minister Imran Khan from Adiala jail in Rawalpindi. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Sohail Afridi has claimed that Imran Khan has been kept in isolation since the 4th of November with no access whatsoever to his family, to his lawyers or doctors. In fact, just a short while back, Republic TV brought you an exclusive ground report which put this entire matter into context and also reported that Imran's sister Uzma has now been granted access as thousands of his supporters storm the outskirts of the Adiala jail.
Outside the Islamabad High Court in Pakistan, the atmosphere is charged and defiant. Hundreds of PTI supporters have gathered, raising their voices in a chorus of protest. Slogans ring through the air, Imran Khan ko riha karo, and cries of Azadi echo across the barricades. As the crowd demands the immediate release of former Prime Minister Imran Khan, security is tight, tensions are high, and the standoff is intensifying by the minute. Pakistan on edge as PTI has announced mass demonstrations, one outside the Islamabad High Court and the biggest one directly outside Adiala jail. But hours before the rallies, the government moved decisively, imposing Section 144 in both the cities. Despite restrictions, massive demonstrations are planned today by Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, demanding access to the former Prime Minister.
सबसे पहले तो मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं कि खान साहब बेगुनाह हैं और एक ये सियासी इंतकाम जो लिया जा रहा है और ये बिल्कुल एक ऐसे लीडर के साथ, एक ऐसे लीडर को जो कि पूरी दुनिया का एक मशहूर लीडर है, ठीक है, और इस्लाम का एक मशहूर लीडर है। आज हमारे जॉइंट सेशन था, हमने एक ही नारा लगाया कि खान साहब को रिहा करो और खान साहब जिंदाबाद, ठीक है। एक बात, दूसरी बात ये कि जो उनकी बहनें हैं, उनकी बहनें, मैं तो एक आम सा वर्कर हूँ इस पार्टी का, लेकिन उनकी बहनों को जो रखा गया हुआ है, जो उनसे मिलाया नहीं जा रहा, हमें तो आज तक ये नहीं पता चला ये कितने दिनों में कि खान साहब की तबीयत कैसी है, उनकी मिसेस की तबीयत कैसी है, ठीक है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये जुल्म बंद करें, ठीक है, और ये पॉलिटिकल विक्टिमाइजेशन जो चल रही है इसको बंद करने, ये देखें एक बहुत अरसा नहीं चलने वाला, इंशाल्लाह एक दिन खान बाहर आएगा, फिर हम बताएंगे कि ये जो हमारे साथ जुल्म किया इन्होंने, तो हम इनका जवाब देंगे।
For more than 3 weeks, Imran Khan's family and PTI members have been seeking a meeting with the incarcerated leader, but their requests have gone unanswered.
देखिए, चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब इस वक्त पेशावर में मौजूद हैं। उनका दिन जो है वो जुमेरात का है, वो जुमेरात के दिन दोबारा आएंगे इमरान खान साहब से मिलने और सूबे की गवर्नेंस को भी देखना है। आज वो पेशावर में मौजूद है और जहाँ तक गवर्नर राज की बात है, मैंने कल भी कहा और मैं आज दोबारा इसको दोहरा रहा हूँ, अगर इन्होंने कल लगाना है तो आज लगाए, परसों लगाना है तो कल लगाए। खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में एक ही राज है, वो इमरान खान राज है।
As PTI intensifies its push for Imran Khan's release and access, Islamabad and Rawalpindi remains heavily fortified. Section 144 stays in force as the government braces for unrest.
And earlier today, presenting the Indian Navy's account of valor, the Indian Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, in his annual address, reflected on the success of Operation Sindoor. He also indicated that INS Aridhaman was going to be commissioned soon. It's a brand new addition to the Indian naval fleet with a vision for Atmanirbhar forces, Atmanirbhar Bharat by 2047. Here are the highlights of what the Navy Chief said this morning.
Operation Sindoor not over. Atmanirbhar Bharat stands ready. Indian Navy Chief's clarion call to the world and a neighbor across the border. Ahead of Navy Day celebrations in Thiruvananthapuram, Indian Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi made it clear that Indian Navy is powered by valor and determination. Recalling Operation Sindoor, the Navy Chief reminded how Pakistan's forces were confined with not even a chance for retaliation.
There was no chance of any retaliation. There was no occasion at all. Like I said, they remained close to their harbors, in their ports and in their airports. When I say airports, they are even maritime surveillance aircraft. They never came anywhere close by.
Such was the impact of Operation Sindoor, that Pakistan could have had economic consequences if it didn't learn the lesson soon.
Certainly, there was a drop in the trade, and that obviously had an economic effect on Pakistan. And if the operation had continued, active operation, kinetic ops had continued for longer time, their economy would have suffered.
In a major announcement, the Navy Chief confirmed that India's third indigenous nuclear ballistic submarine, INS Aridhaman, would be commissioned very soon. An announcement that will be watched very closely by Pakistan.
This year's Navy Day theme we have chosen: combat ready, cohesive, Atmanirbhar Navy, safeguarding national maritime interests anytime, anywhere, anyhow.
While the race is on for acquisition of arsenal, Indian Navy is working with the vision of creating an Atmanirbhar force by 2047.
You would also be happy to know that Udaygiri, commissioned by RM in August at Vizag, was our 100th indigenously designed warship by our own Warship Design Bureau.
As the global order of power changes, India is prepared. Indian forces reign supreme.
All right, viewers, finally, while Sri Lanka battles with the aftermath of cyclone Ditwa, India has launched Operation Sagar Bandhu to help the neighbour in trouble. The Indian Armed Forces, along with the National Disaster Relief Fund personnel, are currently in action, rescuing people, providing medical assistance at the first step. This next report will take you deep into India's humanitarian efforts in Sri Lanka.
Massive devastation has been caused in Sri Lanka by cyclone Ditwa. State emergency was declared as the death toll crossed 330 with torrential rain and floods in the island. In a swift response to Sri Lanka's humanitarian crisis, Indian Armed Forces along with NDRF launched Operation Sagar Bandhu to help Sri Lanka cope with one of the most deadly disasters in years.
The integrated task force, which is from the Shatrujit Brigade, is assigned to provide humanitarian assistance and disaster relief to the people who have been affected by cyclone in Sri Lanka. This integrated task force will be moving today to Sri Lanka. This integrated task force is not only self-sufficient, but will be able to provide all kinds of necessary assistance that is required for the people of Sri Lanka.
The Indian Army has deployed a specialized contingent comprising of dedicated medical, engineering and signal components for immediate relief. Indian warships INS Vikrant and INS Udaygiri are also at Colombo, offloading food and medical kits, while shipboard Chetak helicopters carried out aerial rescues. The Indian Air Force has airlifted a total of 53 tons of aid, including tents, blankets, hygiene kits, ready-to-eat meals, also evacuating more than 2,000 Indian nationals. Standing with the neighbour in times of crises, Operation Sagar Bandhu is a reflection of India's neighbourhood-first policy and the Prime Minister's Mahasagar vision.
All right, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break, but do stay on with us. On the other side, more news and updates coming right up.